Hello, my name is Peter Greenlaw. I'm the founder of the New Health Conversation movement, which I think we sorely need. It's a registered trademark with the U.S. Patent Office. At the New Health Conversation, we're devoted to only one thing, and that's to bring you real scientific evidence on weight loss and strategies for nutrition, etc. The problem out there in the world is that so many people are coming on and making proclamations, and I have all due respect for dietitians, nutritionists, and doctors that are coming on and giving people the best advice that they're aware of. But now more and more peer-reviewed studies are coming out that are really kind of telling a completely different story about the whole idea of dieting. We got 80% of America overweight and 50% of those people are obese, and half the 50% are clinically obese. You got 1 in 3 adults pre-diabetic. You've got 9 out of 10 Americans metabolic and healthy with 3 of 5 factors: overweight, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, high triglycerides. I mean, does anybody really think what we're doing is working? Don't we need a new approach, a new emphasis, a new protocol? Well, today this is a new study that came out in the Nutrition Journal, one of the highly regarded journals in the world. They did the analysis on something that I actually had not even heard before, for dietary recommendations for fasting days in an alternate day intermittent fasting pattern, a randomized controlled trial. So what that means is they had people eat for 24 hours and then fast for 24 hours, okay? Now, this is amazing, but first of all, the weight loss in 4 weeks, it was a 4-week study, was 5.5 pounds. Now, I'm going to contrast you with new peer-reviewed human trials that have come out that completely blow those results out of the water. But listen to this. They actually were saying this in the study, this was okay. The most common adverse events were dizziness, heart palpitations, and fatigue. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They're trying to tell you that that's like okay. It's not okay. And the thing that I think we want to make you aware of at the New Health Conversation is the real things that are out there, what's really possible. What's really possible are 2 new peer-reviewed human trials. If you're not familiar with those, in medicine, the highest you can go, like when they approve a drug, is in a peer-reviewed study. You'll hear the term clinical trial. A clinical trial is really a prelude to getting it peer-reviewed. And so no drug comes on the market that doesn't get peer-reviewed. I mean, it's just that's a given, all right? So think about it. These studies are not being done really by the diet protocols themselves. They're being independently, okay? But unless and that's pretty typical. You hear the thing, a pound a week. That's the gold standard, supposedly, until these new human trial studies came out, peer-reviewed. What did they find? They found that in the studies that 80% women, 20% men, no one allowed to exercise. What? Yeah, because they didn't want exercise to be an outlier. They wanted to see if just on its own this could be really, really effective. Now, what did they find in those studies that were 80% women, 20% men, no exercise? Well, on average, people lost in a month 16 pounds. Well, according to this, that would take you about 5.5 months. But on this also, what did people lose? Lean muscle mass and water for the most part. On this, the people lost, it's an astounding difference in the weight loss, but it was safe because they also proved they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. But it gets better. Of the 5 factors that are part of the metabolic makeup of overweight, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, if you got 3 of them, you're considered metabolic and healthy by the CDC. All 5 came down dramatically in just 30 days. Blood pressure came down 14%. Not only did blood sugar come down, but also insulin. That's an inverse relationship. Typically, when you lower the blood sugar with medication, you're increasing the amount of insulin. No one had ever seen these results before. My goodness, triglycerides came down almost 24% in just 30 days. Inflammation came down 25% in 30 days. And in 8 weeks, people lost a third, 33% of their visceral fat. The visceral fat is the fat around our organs. The outer fat, kind of under the skin, is called subcutaneous or adipose fat tissue. I know you're sitting there and you're skeptical, you're astounded, whatever, because I am. But I keep looking at these study after study after study. It's just showing that there's a reason why 80% of America is overweight and 50% are obese. Unless you think that's effective, unless you want to buy into a pound a week is about as good as you're going to do, if you do traditional diets, if there's some form of lowering calories. And I've talked about this before. What you have to understand, the body doesn't even know what a calorie is. It doesn't count calories. Why are you counting calories? Because someone told you. But here's the dilemma we're faced with. Our food today in this country is becoming almost nutritionally bankrupt. And those the nutrients that used to be there are so depleted in our soil. So what happens, think about this, when you go on a diet and you lower calories, but they never tell you, guess what else you're lowering? Nutrition. Guess what your body runs on? Your brain, your kidney, your liver, your heart, lungs, etc. And our muscles are fueled by what? Nutrition, not by calories. When you're hungry, you're not hungry for calories, you're hungry for nutrition. And when the body senses, imagine an imaginary line of that's enough nutrition, you drop below that line, the body goes in freak out. It goes into starvation mode. And in starvation mode, what will it do? Well, the first thing it does, it goes looking for the nutrition. And where does it find it? In our organs, in our brain, our kidney, our liver, our heart, etc., and our muscles. Do you know what it actually does? It converts your muscles into carbohydrates for energy. Now, as bad as that is, and also in response to that, what the body has to do, because there's not enough fuel, it slows down your metabolism. And when you slow down metabolism, you can't burn as many calories. That's why you plateau on diets. No one tells you that. They just, oh, it must be me. I'm not doing it right. So then you go and look for the next diet. Or you go on the diet, you're successful, lose 25, 30, 40, 50 pounds, whatever it is. Then you stop and you gain everything back. Because you got to understand, you've slowed your metabolism. You literally can't burn as many calories. My goodness, I think we all remember, maybe some of you do, the show The Biggest Loser. There were people in that lost like 150 pounds. Do you know the New York Times did a follow-up, like, I think it was a few years ago? They found that most of those people had gained back all their weight, and they estimated they had slowed their metabolism down by as much as 25%. That's not good. But these new human trials give us tremendous hope. They're not diets. They're effectively detox. And they're actually a combination of regular food from the grocery store and very specific ingredients that come from all over the world to make up for what we can't get in enough quantity in this country in the food we're eating. They come from India and China and Manchuria and Mongolia and Russia and even Tibet in the Himalayas, literally from the side of the Himalayas, South America and New Zealand, where these nutrients are still in abundance. And if you give your body not calories, but you give it enough nutrition, forget the darn calories. If you don't give it enough nutrition, I don't care what you're going to do, you're going to go into starvation mode and you're going to burn up your lean muscle mass. Every study out there is saying that, well, yeah, the majority of the weight loss was muscle mass. The one study came out and said that now they're finding that low-calorie diets in obese people can really contribute to osteoporosis. What? I thought diets were supposed to be good for you. Well, again, we need a completely new health conversation. We need a completely new approach. And if you click on the link below, it'll take you to a free website with the studies, with the information. There's no gimmicks there. And then if you desire to find out more, there's a little form, you can fill it out and it'll come to us and we'll get back to you and we'll answer the questions. It won't be someone on an 800 number in some part of the country where you can't understand what they're saying. It'll literally be someone who's done the protocol. So I hope this has been helpful, and we'll just keep bringing you the research because that's what we do, and we think you're entitled to know what's possible.